Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be present here with you all. So again, I'll just give you a minute to tune in. There's many things happening. Holy smokes, many things happening. I'm feeling things very, very deeply, and I had to take some time during the weekend to just sit with so many things that were moving and passing through me. But it's good, and it's funny, it's all related to the inner child. Let me adjust this camera. Okay. It's totally related with the inner child. So, this is a topic that Mastam will come through, my guide will come through, and to explain a little bit more of the inner child work and how you can pass through that without in a more softer way, because the inner child, is a very delicate subject, and then when you come into that kind of healing consciously, you have to go in a very softer wave and direction for it. Hola, papi. And so then there's also the messages of the elders. They are present around us, and the release of the mind. Holy smokes, you guys, the release of the mind. This is also like a really awesome topic. Gracias, papi. Como siempre, como siempre. It's very fascinating because let me tell you that with all the work that I've been doing, hi, La Vida. It's really awesome, by the way. I hope that your day is super awesome as well. So with all the work that has been happening and me coming through on live videos, I told you guys there's a lot of transmission happening every time I go live. My guide is always around, angels are always around and are always constantly sending you energy or some kind of messages that you can tune in your own way, for whatever it is that is going through you. But it's quite fascinating to know that we are so complex and we're so powerful. It just literally blows my mind every time there's something is happening and going through. So thank you for joining. I'm super duper grateful for all of you. So grateful. Thank you for sharing some of the videos, for helping us to spread the message. So deeply grateful for you all. And before we go into the messages, let me just say that next week is May. Whoa, next week is May. So on the 1st, which is a Friday, we're doing an aura raffle. And two people this time will get a free channeling healing session. And so we'll have the link for you guys to sign up for it if you want to. It will be a really awesome way to share more of the work that passes through me for all of you. Okay, so let's go into these messages, shall we? Because they are super excited. Hi, Marie. So grateful for you and for your presence and all the work that you do. So deeply felt in my system. So you guys, the elders are around. It's not that they weren't around before, Hi, Ramesh. So good to see you again. So it's not that they weren't around per se, it's just that they're always there, surrounding you. Even if you think that you're alone, they're always there to guide you in a sense. It's almost like they are, in a sense, your other awesome guides. And they're literally one message away. You can tell them they're watching your growth, and they're watching everything that you go through. They're watching all your releases and your processes in case you need more of a support and love at that particular moment. They're there, and they're kind of waiting for you, hey, are you gonna call us? Are you gonna call us? But we're here, regardless, we're here sending you our love and holding space for you. And it's a beautiful support system that we have. I see them as little magicians. They appear to me, and as soon as they come around, I'm in the circle. They're constantly channeling energy and messages and transmissions. So the message that I've been receiving for the past days from them is that, if you're going through a very intense process and you don't even know what's happening, or you're not aware of how to move through it, because sometimes it could be very intense, right? You can call upon them. You can call upon them and they will guide you, you know. So if you are more open in the sense that you hear messages, you will hear them. If you're more open in the sense of feelings, they will like send you the messages through feelings, so through visions, if that's how you work or how your organism works. Or in the other way, it could be all of them, right? So it just literally depends, because you are different than everybody else, you know, and you're having different experiences, even though they might be slightly similar, but they're all present for you for your own the personal personal way that you're leading your life. And so they're there, you know, they're, hola mami, they're all literally just waiting for you. We have so many tools around us available 24/7 and beyond time and space, that truly the only thing you have to say is like, please guide me, please show me your presence. You know, the elders are you don't have to worry about them, because I think in the sense of lower vibrations, if they're gonna like do some kind of harm or trick you in a sense, they have the wisdom of the entire like planetary system, and the wisdom of all the years humans have been present in this planet. So the only concern in a sense is for you to continue to elevate your vibrations, and for you to continue to truly find the way back into the heart. And they do that with so much love, you guys, so much love, that they're totally like your own cheerleaders too, you know. They're like around you, like cheering for you, like, yay, hey, you're doing an awesome job, because you are. And they're beautiful beings to work with. So like I said, like I've been saying, you know, you have your guides, you have your angels, you have the elders, you have like Earth herself, which by the way today is Earth Day, you know. So there's so many tools around that if you're not really using them, like it's time, you know, it's time, especially if you're going through a really intense release that you have no idea what is happening. That's a really awesome way of doing it. For example, yesterday, there were many things passing through me, you know, and I sit with them. I sit with them until I can understand what they're trying to tell me. Well, yesterday I had a super hard time trying to understand what in the world was happening in my own organism. And I spent the entire time, pretty much the entire day, almost in isolation, because something in me was moving in the anger form, and that's not literally how I am, you know. And I know that if I don't control that little volcano, like I was telling you guys that I was, which is still there, you know, I will just gonna put all those feelings into my boyfriend's organism, which I don't want to do. That's not like the way of growing. The way of growing is like you sit with yourself, you understand yourself, and you understand what's moving through you with compassion and unconditional love. And so like it probably took me to like 5 p.m. to truly figure out what in the world was happening. And it was they came to me and they guided me into that space to truly understand, because sometimes things are so deep that it's hidden, it's super hidden behind so many layers, you know. And it's not as easy to like swim through these layers and figure out where it's coming from. You can believe that it's coming from this particular point, but this point is actually hiding another point, where that point is actually hiding the root of what is coming through. So you have to find a way to maneuver, you know. And if this is something new for you, this is why working with your guides, high level guides, by the way, and the elders and the energy of the earth, and of course your own energy, like merging all that together, it's super powerful to start to work that for you, for your benefit, for you to understand what is actually happening inside and what is passing through you that is in the collective and is not in you. So again, the elders are always present. Please, if this resonates with you, if you want to work with them, just call upon them. You know, that's all you have to do, call upon them, which is simple, right? It's very, very simple. Now, let's go into the other topic. This is really fascinating, you guys. The releases of the mind. whoa, I've been working with this the past days, and it just kind of like blew my own mind on how complex and powerful we are. By the way, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your presence. It's really awesome to see your comments and connect with you this way. So the releases of the mind, it makes absolute sense that your mind will release just like your energetic body releases, like your physical body releases, right? So how does hola Gloria, qué lindo verte. The releases of your mind, the way it releases is through dreams. And of course, you also get messages from your guides, the angelic teams, from dreams. However, those dreams tend to be a little in the more happier and high vibrational area. Now, for when your mind is releasing, it tends to be more of the funky dreams, and the dreams that you wake up and you're like, what just happened? Why is this in my mind? What is trying to tell me? Your mind picks people or objects that you have had like an attachment or a very good, either a good relationship or not so good relationship with a person, but it taught you a lot to reflect what is going on in the mind and what is being released. So it's not like your dream actually means what you're watching or what you're feeling. It's something beyond, because most of the people that say that you see a best friend that you haven't seen in years in your dream, it's being really funky, like something that's happening. I don't know, let's just say she's watching somebody possessed. Let's just put it that way, right? And it's literally your own mind is picking that best friend because it will know that you will remember when you wake up. And because otherwise you wouldn't, right? So if you're just like seeing a person, I don't know, somebody that it doesn't really mean much to you, or somebody that you don't even recognize, then when you wake up, you're like, that's weird. But you don't have like, oh, I had a dream with my best friend and she was watching somebody that was possessed, you know? So that is how your mind captures your attention to let you know what is being released through that. Yeah, so normally those dreams, Levita, it's more transmissions and messages that come from like higher dimensions, you know. So when the mind is being released, is really like those very dreams, like you wake up and you're like, whoa, that's not right, you know, what is going on in here. So, and it's something I've been paying attention to a lot lately, because for the past maybe month or so, I've been having dreams with one particular friend from high school, which I don't even talk to this guy, you know? And then I was like, why are you in my mind? So I had to go really deep into these dreams and my meditation, like being guided to go back into these dreams to understand why he had been like picked in a sense, you know? And the reason was why is because my mind was trying to catch my attention and say like, hey, I'm moving these things out of my own little organism, right? In order to be cleansed. Because when you start to cleanse your physical body, your energetic body, of course the mind needs to cleanse as well, right? So then the mind, it's just like any part of you, it just wants to be acknowledged, just wants to be loved, and it just wants to be supported. You know, just like everything in you wants to be in union. That's exactly what the mind wants to do. What's to talk about dreams? Hi, Cindy. Yes, so really crazy dreams. This is like when your mind begins to release, you know, and it's releasing very intensely. And the reason why they're so crazy, thank you for saying that word, because it's perfect. The reason why it's so crazy is because so you remember. So your mind is literally saying, hey, Cindy, like pay attention to this because it's moving through me. But it's not going to be exactly how the dream shows up. You know, it will be something, because your mind has a very distinctive language, and it's going to be different than mine. It's going to be different than anybody else. So you have to truly go into that space to understand the language of your own mind and of the dreams, because it's communicating through the dreams. For example, let me give you an example. I'm trying to think of like the funky dreams I've had. Okay, so the example I was giving, it was actually one of my dreams. You know, I was in a dream and I had with this friend that I don't even speak to. Not even sure if I can call him a friend. And so like, his daughter was in the bed, like being looked like she was possessed. Honestly, you know. So when my mind was telling me, it was that it was releasing. It was releasing this what I used to do, you know, because trust me, I was really shitty, very shitty, you know, and so what I used to do there was against like a partnership, and also like seeing like the releases that my body has had, because when I used to go through very intense trances, it completely looked like I had been possessed and things were coming out of me. And so because when I looked at a child on that bed, which by the way she had things on her wrist and on her ankles, hola Adriana, that you know, so she wouldn't like leave the bed. When I was watching her like that, I was like, wow, like she's releasing and she's going through really massive things right now. But so like that kind of release physically that has happened in my body, it has also happened in my mind. So my mind was letting me know this is me releasing this part of you, right? But so like if you go into the dream like saying like, oh, I saw your daughter and she looked like she was possessed, you know, they're gonna be like, what in the world are you talking about? Because it's not about the daughter, you know, it's about you. So my mind picked that friend because that friend had meant something for me like many years ago when I lived in Lima. And so of course I will remember him, you know, I was gonna remember him, and I know he has a daughter, so like it will put those two together in order to be like, you will remember that this guy was here and that you were watching that daughter there. And then if you go into that space to try to understand what I'm telling you, you will totally decipher and understand my language. But see, like that's how my mind works. That's how my mind was telling me all these messages. So your mind might be a little bit different, see, you know? Different, not like mine. So you have to truly remember your dreams, and it's good to write them down. You know, that's why I journal every morning. And if I don't do it in the morning, I do it in the afternoon, because when you start to journal your dreams out, or even type it out, you know, just something that comes out, then more things will appear, and that you will remember more things, because you're going into the space of remembrance and going into back into the dream state in a sense, in order to bring more details into what you're putting down on the paper or on the computer. And even so, when you do that, even your guides will help you understand that as well, if you don't really know what's going on. So it's very important to pay attention to the dreams. And right now, it's been a massive release, you know, a massive release, especially if you have been in tune with your own organism and what is happening in your own organism. Wow, Levita, yes, you're so powerful. I bet her own system was like, thank you, thank you. So it's very important, you know, to understand your own system. Uh, I had my two dreams to come true, like a vision. Yes, and this is also how it happens, you know. So again, it's not just like the release of your mind. Your dreams is also a way of communicating what higher realms are telling you, for transmissions as well. But, you know, like we were saying, the funky, crazy dreams, those tend to be the ones that your mind is releasing. And those are the ones that will give you some clues into how your mind is feeling at that particular moment, right? Because you can tune in into your physical body and feel how the physical body is. Is it exhausted? Do you want to rest more? Do you want to go out for a run? Do you want to chill? Whatever. You know, the same thing with the energetic bodies, right? You can tune into that. So the same thing, you can tune into your mind and see how your mind is doing at that particular moment in time. And so remember that if you're going through massive energetic releases, which will like turn into massive physical releases, that same thing is happening in your mind, because it's part of you. You know, you're just a very complex being. And so see if you can differentiate, like play around with it and write your dreams out, and go into the space where you can truly understand the language of your own mind, because you start to do that and you become even more in tune into your own totality, right? Just like how you can tune into the physical body, into your own energetic bodies, to differentiate your energies from somebody else and your own like feelings, rather than when you're picking up something for somebody else. So then, those things, right? So your physical body, the energetic bodies, and the mind, like you put them all together and you understand them completely. Wow, like you will be able to tune in so much more that you could totally imagine, because then you know what's passing through you, you know what is you, you know what is moving through you, and then you don't have to, you don't feel like, whoa, what's going on. No worries, Cindy, good to see you. So now the inner child work. Ooh, the inner child work, you guys. I've been tuning into this so much too, and it's a very delicate work, So Masam is gonna come through to like say more things about it, because there's a massive release of the from the inner child, the collective inner child, individual, like we were saying last time. From everyone, even if you're not really, if you think that you're not feeling this, you're definitely feeling it. Like I said, we're all interconnected and super connected. So the one thing before Mastam comes through is that you must be very gentle with yourself, especially when you're doing inner work that relates with the inner child. What it really was, the inner child work. Yeah, so pretty much it's like it's your younger self, your younger self that lives within you, and whatever happened in your childhood, that little child is constantly going through it, constantly remembering it. And it's like it's almost like it sends you a signal. Let's say that somebody yelled at you multiple times where you're growing up, right? And so when somebody yells at you, and when you're an adult, it literally connects the dots with your own child self, and the child begins to like tense up. And so what that does to you in the present moment is that you tense up, and then you get triggered, and then you get mad, and then you get upset or sad. So it's a linkage. So in order for you to, in a sense, be free from that, then you have to bring this timeline into this current one to help that inner child heal, and let that inner child know that it's safe and it's okay to let it go. It's okay to let it go. And when you start to get like very good at merging timelines, you can also bring your a future self, because it's not that this is the only timeline happening. There's billions of timelines happening all at the same time. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Cindy. And so you can also call it into a future self, because you have experienced this already. And so you called your future self to guide this present self and to release the younger self. And so you're literally bringing those three together into this point to release the suffering from the inner child, to release the blockages from this current self, and this current then the future self it's freeing itself and being open more to receive, because all these timelines are being healed and are merging with a higher timeline. If you said, I'm learning to let was. Yes, that's amazing, Labita. To truly like tune in into like what is yours and what hasn't been yours and what is passing through you. So there's also like, like I was saying, like to truly tune in into like you, like your own system first. You get to know your own system first, so then you can guide others to do the same. And it's not that like you. It's a process, right? It's a process. It might happen overnight, who knows? But it normally is a very lengthy process. All right, so let's bring Mastem in, and he will talk more about the inner child and how to be more gentle, whatever comes through. Greetings, everyone. We trust that you are doing very well and that you're taking care of yourself. We chose to speak more about the inner child because it's truly a massive topic, and in the collective is being released very intensely in your current lifetime, in the current time. And so, what is the inner child? If you remember your younger days, your younger self, everything that passed through you, all the emotions, all the fear, all the bliss, was recorded into the system of a tiny little being. Children absorb everything like a sponge. So your younger self remembers absolutely everything that has happened to you. Now, when something very traumatic happens, it begins to build walls around itself to protect itself. This is the reason why most humans do not remember specific parts of the childhood. Because if you want to think about your own little being as a tiny sphere that was very scared and something very harsh happened, it began to shine their light less and less and less because it began to cover itself with many things. You can see this as bricks, you can see this as drapes, anything that comes into your mind, until perhaps it was blocked completely. And when that happens, the future self, or the more older self, forgets what happened in the little bubble. Because that little younger self of you, let's call it the inner child, that child self was so scared and suffered so much that did not want to remember that again. So it covered itself up for protection to continue to move forward into life. That doesn't mean that it's not there. It means that it's still there, and those emotions are still affecting that younger self, and because you are connected, it's affecting the present self. So in order to get into the inner child, all those walls must be released. How do you release these walls? With unconditional love for yourself. Of course, you must be ready to go into whatever happened in your childhood. Because if you're not ready, then you're just going to traumatize more the younger self. So whenever you feel the time is ready, call upon sacred space. Call upon your guides, as the elders as well. And they will help you to open up that space in order to see what has been blocking that child and what is the child feeling. Because it's constantly feeling. It's not something separate from you. Every single timeline is happening at this current time. Every single timeline is merging in this current time. It's up to you if you choose to work with those different timelines in order to free yourself from suffering and to expand yourself more. Now, when you go back and you want to work and release the hurt from childhood, It's like the layers of an onion. You first have to go through one layer to another layer to another layer to truly understand what was the point of suffering and the memory. So this takes patience. This takes love, unconditional love for yourself and for the child, and also for anybody that was around when you were growing up. It's not about blaming someone or blaming your parents or your sister or your brother. It's about thanking every single one of them that was present while you were growing up for giving you that space, for, this might sound a little weird, but for traumatizing that younger self, because without that trauma you wouldn't be where you are in this particular moment in time. And that trauma helped you, in a sense, forget some parts of you that you have been searching and being aware at this moment in time. So at this moment now you are aware. You are aware of where you want to go. You are aware of where you're heading, and you want to know more, and you want to experience bliss, and you want to be happy in life. And then you begin to understand that every single thing that happened to you in the past led you to that moment, whether it was bliss, whether it was pain, whether it was suffering or trauma. So parts of the peeling of the onion is forgiveness. Forgiving whoever you thought that did something wrong to you. For example, if as a child you were beat up, forgiving whoever beat you up. If it was, let's say, your father, you forgive your father. Why do you forgive your father? Because your father thought that he was doing the right thing at the moment in time with whichever tools he had, and from the experience he had as a younger self, because perhaps his parents did the exact same thing to him, and then it goes on the lineage. So in a sense, it was norm. It was norm until you came along, and then you decided that that is not right, because your inner child, your younger self, suffered so much and it was traumatized by that. But this trauma is what will help you be different and, in a sense, much better, with higher vibrations, with more compassion, with more unconditional love when you decide to have children, and also to lead the way for the future generation to take care more of their younger selves, because the younger selves are truly the future of humanity. And you must be, every single human must be very careful on how they raise a kid. And you're always doing the right time, the right thing at every moment in time. But the child needs to be able to express itself without any fear, without fear that mom, dad, brother or sister will slap them or push them down. Just let them shine, because kids are full consciousness until something happens and they forget. Now, you go into forgiveness of everyone, and this might be as itself a very intense process if you're still in the victim mentality, and that is completely fine. Acknowledge the space where you're in, and at the same time give yourself the space to go into that when you are ready. When you are past that and you are ready and you have learned to forgive and you have understood that everything happened, you're onion, and you begin to or peel out the layers. Every layer will be, in a sense, some kind of memory or some kind of feeling that happened when you were growing up. So be careful, be gentle, because if you want to imagine your inner child, especially if the inner child went through a lot of trauma, is shaking and it's covering their ears and it's hanging itself because that is what it needed when it was growing up. So it's doing that inside of the onion, at the very center of the onion. So as you're doing the work, the inner work to understand where the pains come from, knowing that from the womb until 6-7 years old, where the memories that shaped you as the adult, truly go into the space of that every trigger for someone is poking your own inner child. So let's say you have a fight with your partner, which whatever reason it was, and you start to yell at each other. If you are the person that is triggered, it has nothing to do with your partner. It has something to do with your own inner child. So that fight was just going like this to your own inner child, and the own inner child continued to do this. So be gentle and understand that when you are hurt, when you are triggered, and you lash onto somebody else, it's just a defense mechanism that the inner child has built so it feels safe. So if you begin to tune in into these triggers, and you begin to understand that it's something inside of you moving that wants to be understood, you can sit with the feeling and go inside and allow that child to talk to you. You can always do that at any moment in time. If this is something new for you, you can call upon your guides, angels, deities, whoever you connect deeply, making sure they're higher vibrational beings to guide you into going into that space. It depends on how deep the trauma was. If the trauma was very deep, you will have to embody, and this depends, maybe not everyone, but most of the time you have to embody your own inner child to feel what the inner child was feeling in this timeline. So you're merging timelines from, let's say, 4 years old until, let's say, 30. You're merging those timelines so you can let go of the fear in this timeline, free yourself and free your own inner child. This takes a lot of patience. This takes a lot of unconditional love for yourself and others, because others were part of, let's say, that trauma that happened when you were growing up. And so you must be patient. You must be patient. And remember that you do the work little by little, and sometimes you will need some kind of breaks, and that's normal because everything is shifting, and now there's so many light codes and transmissions being passed through all of you at this moment in time. The body and the self will need more time to rest. And some things that move through you might take days to be released. It might start on a Monday and be fully released on a Sunday. Or it could just happen in that particular moment. It just depends on how deep the hurt went or that fear. So patience is the key. Unconditional love is the very first step. Unconditional love, forgiveness, patience, compassion. So whenever you're ready to do this work, call upon your guides, set up a sacred space, whichever that means for you. You know, everybody does it differently, their own ritual. So learn what makes you feel best. If you need to put music around to relax yourself, do so. If you like to use crystals or essential oils, remember that we've said this before. Frankincense helps you when you're having a panic attack, when you're having depression and anxiety. Make sure that you're using the 100% kind. If you're putting them underneath the tongue, is 1 drop You put it underneath the tongue and you swallow it. You can also smell it or put it in the diffuser, and that will help you as well. Putting it under the tongue works faster. You can also smell lavender, that will help you as well. Citrus essential oils will help you feel more uplifted. So use all these tools that nature has given you. Spend time in nature if you have the availability to do so. And remember that you don't really just need to go to a tree. You can sit still in your apartment or house if there's nothing green around you and connect through your heart with nature. But the inner child work, you must be very compassionate of your own self. When your younger self begins to speak to you, you reply like you're replying a little baby that is crying in front of you. You literally go back to understand what this child needs. And you always tell them that they are safe, that they are loved, and you're there for them. And you can even apologize yourself to your own inner child. You do this work from the heart. And you will see how slowly and slowly the inner child will begin to bloom and not feel so secluded, not feel so fearful. And that's what you want to do, to integrate all the parts of yourself in this particular moment in time. As Rukmani was saying, you can bring the connection of a higher self, a future self, if you will, into this particular lifetime, because all the work has already been done in another lifetime, in another timeline. So you connect like you were calling your best friend and just say, I need your guidance, I need your help, can you please come here and guide me? And it will do it. You will absolutely do it. Remember that imagination is the limit. You can imagine it, it can be done in the energetic world. Absolutely, absolutely. So begin to expand and begin to trust yourself, to trust your own inner guidance. Trust the heart, trust the heart. Trust the heart and connect deeper with your own vibrations, with yourself. And then you will see, because you are your own guru. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You know exactly what to do. When you trust, it flows through you. It flows through you and things begin to melt down, if you will. You can imagine a mountain that was full of snow, covered of snow and ice, so it begins to melt down and soften. And then you will begin to feel more empowered, not from the ego point, but empowered in who you are and embodying your true essence and just beaming, and people will recognize that in you and will ask you for guidance. And they will just continue to be the domino effect, just like that, just like that. So concentrate also on your throat. There's a lot of throat movements happening. Concentrate on the throat. You can place your hands on your throat, just massage it, especially when there is some kind of muscles that are tense. Massage it very well and just speak to your throat. Everything in you wants to be loved and accepted. Just speak through it. Say, I love you. Say you're free to express yourself in whichever mode you choose. And you will see, it will expand, and it will expand. And if your heart is open, it will give the space for your throat to be expressed in the most joyous and loving way for people, so you don't hurt people when you're expressing yourself or when you're sharing. Remember that everybody's going through something. Everybody's going through something, so be gentle, be gentle. And there's something that you don't understand that is moving through you, let your partner know. So they are aware, and they're not in the dark. Nobody likes to be in their dark as in not knowing what's passing through their own partners. So communication is the key of success in any relationship, not just emotional, but also in friendships. It's very important. It's very, very important. Good. So we will begin to send some love to your own inner child. If you wish to receive this, you must stay tuned. If you don't wish to receive this, you can just say so and it won't go to you. Remember, this is free will. So begin to concentrate on your heart. The SAS, the light codes begin to pass through. And you can even visualize your own inner child in a bubble. However you see your own inner child, that's how it's feeling at this moment in time. And be okay how it's feeling. And just send the love. Open up that bigger space for the inner child to be able to express itself, herself, himself. Good. 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 Until next time. All right. Well, I hope that helped. Let me see if there's anything that you guys have been saying that I did not miss, what he was coming through. I think I missed what you were saying before, Lavita. But I'll read more of your comments after this. You know, it's very, like Maston was saying, it's very important. Okay, before I go into that, because he just reminded me something. You know, they remember to connect with higher level guides. That's such a key, you know, because they are in a sense more experienced. Like you can see that as, what do we call it? Certifications in a sense, you know, to help you elevate. And they have their own ways, you know, so high level guides will never just come into your body and speak to other ones, you know, you are in control, you know, it's not that like they come and they start to do something. You are in control and you let them know, like you work as a team and you let them know, you know, like when is a good time for them to speak through you, you know, and this is something that every human being has the ability to do this, you know, every single human being, so you absolutely can. So connect with a high level guide and it will show you many things, especially things that you're questioning or things that you want to get to know more about yourself, you know, they will show you that. And hi, and truly, you know, they are guiding you. They're not taking possession of yourself in order to do things for others. You know, it's just of unison, of understanding and working together for the benefit of your being and the benefit for others. And so, like how he was saying that communication is the key, truly, you know. So if you're moody, if something's moving through you and you're not understanding, and you have so many people around you, and of course people feel the energy, you know. So let them know. That way they don't think that you're pissed at them for some reason or something that you did that they did was affecting you, and this is something that I've been working a lot consciously in the past, goodness, since I started being in union with my twin flame, because trust me, there are many things to move, and many things to pass through, and sometimes you won't really get it right away. But it's good for the other person to be aware, to be aware of what's happening. So there is another transmissioning passing through right now, and this one is going towards the solar plexus. So if you will, you can place your hands on your belly, and just connect with the fire there, because this will help you, to tune in more into your strength, your sense of self in a way, and this is where so much energy moves through you. There's like 70,000 nadis, and 70,000. This is our energetic channels that come from that space. So when all those are activated, you can move that energy to any part of you and work with it, and you can see it. As in like the control desk of a spaceship, if you will, that you can just move the energy from that to somewhere else, and to help the release. Or even, for example, if when you're chanting or singing, when you activate that center to sing, then the projection of the voice, it's louder and it's unique, not just from the throat area, but you're connecting from the depth of your being, in a sense. So it's truly good. Or you can also connect that with the heart, for people to feel more at ease when you are around, especially if there's something really intense happening. So connect with that center, connect with that fire of you, and let it speak to you as well. Remember that everything in your being wants to be understood, and everything in your being wants to be in union. And so the more you connect with every aspect of you, and you tell them how much you love them and you are grateful for them, then they will feel it, trust me. And it will be a more beautiful way, I don't want to say more beautiful way, but a deeper way of living life. And it's a beautiful way, honestly. And patience, patience, and just a good attitude towards everything that is happening to you. Okay. Well, it's still passing through, but where it continues to do its thing. So if you missed what I was saying at the beginning, so next Friday, which is May 1st, we're doing another raffle. I'm so excited for this. I love sharing these things. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your love and for your comments. Goodness, to express my gratitude, it cannot really be expressed with words, honestly. They're so limited. So I just share my love with energy. But so the link will be up soon, probably by tomorrow, so you can sign up if you like to get a free channel healing session. Then we'll use music, divine sounds, probably mastam, light language, and all those goodies to help you through whatever it is that is moving through you. Sometimes you just need a little guidance to understand your energy a little bit better and understand what it is that is happening inside of you. So it'll be alignment of the chakras, of course, going into a deep hurt or trauma that has happened. Literally what it is that your being needs at that particular moment in time, that kind of awareness is what it comes through, and a specific protection if you need it, just like questions and answers from you. So it's a beautiful space, honestly. And truly remember that I'm not the only one that does this. Like there are many of us out there, and you are one of them. You're one of them. You just gotta tune in into those. I'm not sure my lovely friend Marie is still watching, but she's an awesome channeler as well. So if you speak French, or you are practicing your French again, like I am, you can watch her live on Thursdays. Well, it's 11 a.m. my time, so Pacific time, that will be 9 a.m. So anyways, yeah, truly connect to your own inner guidance. It will show you your way. It will definitely show you. Okay, so last thing, this fiery thing on your solar plexus, move it down to your sacral chakra. So it's just a little bit below it. Good, and connect those two. So you know, like the second chakra is where all the stores trauma from childhood, like they are linked with family, are. So that fiery sense of your solar plexus can help you burn those traumas and help them come up to the surface to be fully released. So just connect those two, and then connect them with the root chakra, and the root chakra connected with the center of the earth. So through the root, like it can be released, you know, very gentle. And you can set up the intentions that can be released very gentle as well. You can see it too and visualize it, you know, because it's through the roots that you release. Good. All right. Awesome. Bueno, de ahí te explico, pues, papi. Gracias por verme, papi. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for tuning in. I will put the link when it's up so you can register for the free channel sessions and sit with whatever is passing through you. Completely sit with it. Be compassionate with yourself. Have space for yourself. Treat yourself, you know, especially now that we can really leave the house, right? If you feel good about making yourself some tea or drawing, whatever it is, like, pamper yourself, you know, take time to do that for you too. So I love you all so much, and I will see you next time. Many blessings. Ciao, peace.